Hello friends, welcome to our mathematics program for grade 8. Today we are going to look at the second part of our program on inequalities. Right, in our previous program we learned how to represent linear inequalities on a number line. So what are we going to do today? Well, we are going to show you how to solve linear inequalities. So let's start. Solving inequalities. To solve an inequality, what does that mean? It simply means that we want to find a set of values, or we also call that a range of values, which satisfies the inequality. Let's take an example. Now, given that x is an integer and x lies between -1 and 2, write down all the possible values of x. What does that mean, all the possible values of x? Well, we know that x lies between -1 and 2, right? Okay, so if x lies between -1 and 2, it means that x can take values between -1 and 2, but be careful, it should not include -1 and 2. Why? Because you don't have the equal sign. So on a number line, you've got -1 and 2. Remember, we showed you how to do that in the last program. So it's -1 and 2. You don't include that. And you will take 0 and 1. So hence, the possible values of x are 0 and 1. Let's take another example. Now, you are asked to solve the following inequalities. Part A, x plus 2 is greater than 5. Part B, x minus 1 is less than 3. Part C, x minus 3 is less than or equal to 4. And part D, x plus 1 is greater than or equal to -2. How do we do that? Okay, let's take the first one. X plus 2 is greater than 5. We are asked to solve. Remember, you've done that in equations. When you need to solve, it means that you need to find a value, right? But now you're in inequalities. Solving means that you need to find the range of values of x. How do we do it? Well, we need to eliminate that 2. How do we do that? You will add the additive inverse. Now, what is the additive inverse of 2? That will be -2. So, we will add -2 on both sides. So, that will be x plus 2 plus -2, which is greater than 5 plus -2. When we simplify it, you will get x is greater than 3, which is the answer. Let's take another example. X minus 1 is less than 3. Here also we need to eliminate the -1. So how do we do that? Well, you add the additive inverse, which is +1 on both sides. Remember, it should be on both sides. And simplifying, you will get x is less than 4. Part C, x minus 3 is less than or equal to 4. Okay, how do we do it? Well, we need to eliminate the -3. How do we do that? Additive inverse of -3 is 3. So we add 3 on both sides. And we simplify it. You will get x is less than or equal to 7. Part D, x plus 1 is greater or equal to -2. What do we need to do? We need to eliminate the 1. How do we do that? Well, we shall add the additive inverse of 1, which is -1. Remember, we add it on both sides. So, we simplify. You will get x is greater or equal to -3. Example 3. Solve the following inequalities. Now, the first one is 2x is greater than 8. Part B, x over 3 is less than 2. Part C, 2x minus 3 is less than or equal to 1. And part D, 3x over 4 minus 5 is greater or equal to 1. How do we do it? Well, part A, we had 2x is greater than 8. What do we need to do? You need to solve. Solving means that you need to find the range of values of x. How do we do it? Well, we need to eliminate that 2. Okay? Now, how do we eliminate that 2? You need to multiply by half. Why do we multiply by half? Because you multiply by the multiplicative inverse. And the multiplicative inverse of 2 is half. So that's half times 2x is greater than half times 8. And when you simplify it, you will get x is greater than 4. Part B, x over 3 is less than 2. What do we need to do? Eliminate the 3. How do we do that? You multiply by the multiplicative inverse of 1/3, and the multiplicative inverse of 1/3 is 3. Remember, you multiply it on both sides. So it's 3 times x over 3, which is less than 3 times 2. Simplifying, you will get x is less than 6. Part C, 2x minus 3 is less than or equal to 1. Okay, this one is a bit more difficult. How do we do it? Well, first, for the first part, what you will do is to eliminate that minus 3. How do we do that? Well, to eliminate minus 3, we need to add 3 on both sides. And when you simplify it, you will get 2x is less than or equal to 4. Now, what do? We need to eliminate the 2. How do we do it? You will multiply by the multiplicative inverse, that is half, on both sides. So you will get half times 2x is less than or equal to half times 4, that is x is less than or equal to 2. Part D, 3x over 4 minus 5 is greater or equal to 1. Okay, first step, what do we need to do? We need to eliminate the minus 5. How do we do that? You just need to add 5 on both sides. What does 5 represent? Remember, it is the additive inverse. So, when you simplify it, you will get 3x over 4 is greater or equal to 6. Now we have a problem. What is the problem? The problem is that we have a fraction here that is 3/4, right? Now, how do we eliminate 3/4? You use the multiplicative inverse. That is, you will multiply by the reciprocal of 3 over 4, which is 4 over 3. Remember, you multiply on both sides. And when you simplify, okay, you will get x is greater or equal to 8. Now let's see some special cases. Consider 5, which is greater than 2. We all know that 5 is greater than 2. But let's see, if we multiply or divide by minus 1 on both sides, what do we have? We have minus 5, which is greater than minus 2. But this is impossible, right? Because we know that minus 5 cannot be greater than minus 2. Now, if we see on a number line, we know that minus 5, right, it is less than minus 2. So, if we have 5 greater than 2, and we take the negative, so minus 5 will be less than minus 2. You need to be careful with that, especially when you divide by negative. When you divide by negative, the inequality sign will change. Let's take another case. Now, We know that 5 is greater than 2, okay? If we take the reciprocal of 5 and the reciprocal of 2, what do we have? We have 1 over 5, which is greater than 1 over 2. But we know that 1 over 5, it is not greater than 1 over 2. But 1 over 5 is less than 1 over 2. So, given that 5 is greater than 2, 1 over 5 will be less than 1 over 2. Be careful with that. Now, from the previous two cases, we have seen that the inequality sign is reversed. When is it reversed? When we multiply or divide by a negative number, or when we take reciprocal. This is very important. I say it again. You reverse the inequality sign when you multiply or divide by a negative number, or when we take reciprocal. Let's take an example. Now, solve the following inequalities. Part A, minus 3x is less than 6. Part B, minus x over 4 is greater than minus 9. Part C, 5 minus 3x is less than or equal to 8. Part D, 1 minus 2x over 3 is greater or equal to 5. Part E, 7 minus 2x is greater than 3x minus 8. Let's see how to tackle these inequalities. First part, we know that minus 3x is less than 6. What do we need to do? We need to solve. What does that mean, to solve? It means that we need to find the range of values of x which will satisfy this inequality. Okay, so what do we do? Well, we need to eliminate the minus 3. How do we do that? We multiply by the reciprocal. That is, we will multiply by minus 1 over 3 on both sides. And remember, if you multiply by a negative, you need to reverse the inequality. You do it at the same time so that you know that you're on the right track. So that will be minus 1 over 3 multiplied by minus 3x, which is greater than minus 1 over 3 times 6. You simplify it, you will get x is greater than minus 2. Okay? Let's take another example. We have minus x over 4 is greater than minus 9. Right, what do we need to do? We need to eliminate that minus 1 over 4. How do we do that? Well, you will multiply by the multiplicative inverse. What is the multiplicative inverse of minus 1 over 4? It is minus 4. Remember to multiply on both sides. And when you multiply by a negative, at the same time you reverse the inequality sign. So that will be minus 4 times minus x over 4, which is less than, remember in the question it was greater. But since you have multiplied by minus 4 on both sides, it will become less, okay? Less than minus 4 times minus 9, and then you simplify it, you will get x is less than 36. Let's take another example. Now, we have 5 minus 3x, which is less than or equal to 8. What do we need to do? Well, we need to eliminate the 5. How do we do that? You add minus 5 on both sides. So that will be 5 plus minus 5 minus 3x, which is less than or equal to 8, plus minus 5. You simplify, you will get minus 3x is less than or equal to 3. What do we need to do now? We need to eliminate the minus 3. That is, we need to multiply by minus 1/3 on both sides. And when you multiply by minus 1/3, you reverse the inequality. You're expert in that now. So that will be minus 1/3 times minus 3x. You change the inequality sign. which becomes greater than or equal to minus 1/3 times 3. You simplify and you will get x is greater or equal to minus 1. Part D, 1 minus 2x over 3 is greater or equal to 5. Okay, what do we need to do? We eliminate the 3. How do we do that? You multiply 3 on both sides, right? So that will be 3 times 1 minus 2x over 3, which is greater or equal to 3 times 5. So that will be 1 minus 2x, which is greater or equal to 15. Now, where did we get that 15? It is 3 times 5. What do we do now? Well, we need to eliminate that 1. How do we do that? You will add minus 1 on both sides. So that will be 1 plus minus 1 minus 2x, which is greater or equal to 15 plus minus 1. Simplifying, you will get minus 2x is greater or equal to 14. Okay, now that you're expert in that, what do we need to do? Well, simple. We are going to eliminate the minus 2. How do we do that? We multiply minus half on both sides. And remember, reverse the inequality sign at the same time. When you simplify it, you will get x is less than or equal to minus 7. Part E. Now 7 minus 2x is greater than 3x minus 8. Okay, what's the difficulty in this question? You've got unknowns on both sides, right? What do we need to do then? Well, first step, let's add minus 3x on both sides. Why do we do that? Okay, we're going to eliminate that 3x from here. So that will be 7 minus 2x plus minus 3x, which is greater than 3x plus minus 3x minus 8. We have the right to do that. Why? Because we are adding minus 3x on both sides, so that will not affect our inequality. When we simplify it, you will get 7. Remember, minus 2x plus minus becomes minus. So minus 2x minus 3x is minus 5x. So that will be 7 minus 5x is greater than minus 8. Why minus 8? Because 3x will cancel out. And then, to eliminate the 7, you will add minus 7 on both sides. And then you simplify it. You will get minus 5x is greater than minus 15. Okay. So what do we need to do now? We need to eliminate the minus 5. How do we do that? You're going to multiply by minus 1 over 5 on both sides. Remember, when you multiply by minus 1 over 5, you need to reverse the inequality. That's right. And you do it at the same time. And you simplify, you will get x is less than 3. Now these are a few exercises for you to practice. Question 4, you need to solve the following inequalities. Same for question 5, solve the following inequalities. Question 6, again, solve the following inequalities. Remember, this program was on solving inequalities, and you've got numerous exercises now for you to practice. That's a link for reference where you will find algebra problems in solving inequalities. Okay, dear friends, we have reached the end of our second program on inequalities. What have we seen today? We have shown you how to solve inequalities, right? We have worked a few examples for you. Now it's your turn. You need to practice. Go through the exercises in your textbook, the exercises found in this video. Alright? So I wish you all the best. Until we meet again, it's goodbye.